With over 650 million fans and over 18 billion social media views in one season, a lot of people enjoy the popular game of hoops and can hardly wait to see what each season comes with. But just how financially rewarding is basketball for its players? From power forwards to shooting guards, here are the richest basketball players in 2023. Let's start with number 15, Kevin Garnett, $120 million. The multimillionaire is a 46-year-old retired power forward. In the 2003-2004 NBA season, he won the Most Valuable Player award and earned his fortune playing for 21 seasons before his retirement in 2016. Known for his toughness, Kevin goes by a number of nicknames such as the Big KG or the Big Ticket. The NBA considers him one of the greatest power forwards, and he has also been recognized for his great defensive abilities as well as his undisputed athletic prowess.
And I ain't really get into a lot of how I came up in those intangible moments to where it got you here, and I ain't really go through that when I was in the league. I wanted to wait for I was out, had a whole career and all that, and then I wanted to go back and show appreciation for everybody that helped me get there.
Coming from a humble background and a broken home, Kevin fell in love with the game of basketball as a high school student. Undeterred by the pains of racial discrimination and profiling while growing up, he rose to become one of the best in the NBA. Number 14, Tim Duncan, $130 million. Tim spent his entire career spanning 19 years with the Spurs between 1997 and 2016, where he earned over $20 million per season. He played in the same position as Kevin Garnett and was just as fantastic as Kevin. Interestingly, Tim never set out to be a basketballer. He had dreams to become a swimmer, but this dream was dashed when the only Olympic-sized swimming pool in his hometown was destroyed by a hurricane. This is when he took up his interest in basketball.
5 to shoot. Working on Aldridge. Duncan spinning. Oh, that's too pretty.
Number 13, Gary Payton, $130 million. Gary played for the Seattle Supersonics between 1990 and 2003. Here, he earned over $91 million before moving on to the LA Lakers. Towards the end of his brilliant 17-year career, he moved to the Boston Celtics and finished off with the Miami Heat team. Nicknamed the Glove, Gary was a terrific defensive player and was usually assigned to tackle Michael Jordan in most of their games together. As an NBA star, Gary had a reputation for trash talking, and this led to lots of fines. In his later years, he suffered from back pain, which is why he had to retire. He later picked up acting and starred in a couple of flicks like The Lego Movie 2, White Men Can't Jump, and others. The movies, in addition to his several endorsements, increased his wealth massively even after retirement. Number 12, Dwight Howard, $140 million. Easily recognized as one of the most decorated NBA players in history, Dwight made a name for himself when he joined Orlando Magic. Here, he dazzled everyone with his brilliant performance and indeed worked some magic as he helped the struggling team back on their feet. Dwight had always known what he wanted to do with his life. At the early age of 9, he made a promise to himself to be the NBA's #1 draft pick, and although he skipped college, he made his dream come true.
That was all Dwight Howard starting on the defensive end.
He currently plays for the Taiwanese team Taoyuan Leopard after leaving the LA Lakers at the end of the 2021-2022 season. Number 11, Dirk Nowitzki, $140 million. This imposing 7-foot giant is undoubtedly one of the greatest European players in the NBA. During his time with the Dallas Mavericks, he was instrumental in helping the team to clinch the NBA championship title in 2011. 9 years earlier, he had achieved a similar feat when he helped his national side to win the bronze medal in the 2002 FIBA competition. Born to professional athletes, Dirk's mother played basketball while his father played handball. As a result, the outstanding basketballer initially thought of playing handball and tennis, but later found his true passion in basketball. Now retired as a multimillionaire, Dirk serves in an advisory role for the Dallas Mavericks team, where he earned most of his fame and fortune. Number 10, James Harden, $165 million. James was born as the second surviving child of his parents after a number of miscarriages.
That's what I do, and it's the playoffs. Things don't go your well as much as you want it to. You got to keep pushing, keep fighting, and I'm just happy we got to win.
As a high school student, it was easy to pick him out as someone with a potentially bright future in the NBA. Soon, he began his professional career with the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2009. 2 years later, he won the NBA Sixth Man of the Year award, even as his wealth continued to grow. His salary skyrocketed from a little over $14 million to a whopping $40 million while playing for the Houston Rockets. Surprisingly, he turned down a $103 million deal to extend his contract with the Houston Rockets. The renewed contract would have made him the first player to earn at least $50 million in a single season. Today, James diversifies his investments and is known to have interests in real estate. He also has lots of brand endorsements in his investment portfolio. Number 9. Kevin Durant, $200 million. The 34-year-old small forward swims in lots of cash. With an annual $42 million salary, lots of endorsements, and other business interests, the multimillionaire comfortably sits atop the ladder of affluence. Kevin, whose parents divorced when he was still a child, was raised by his grandmother and supportive mother. However, his father returned when he turned 13, and it is clear that his father contributed in no small way to achieving his dream to play in the NBA. He took him to a lot of basketball games and supported his interest in the game. Besides his incredible basketball career, he recently launched a SPAC business to raise money from initial public offerings to buy a company. His company, Infinite Acquisition Corp., has successfully raised $275 million in the public market. This could lead to a huge profit for him, which is why he may soon be moving up this list. Number 8. David Robinson, $200 million. David spent his entire 14-year career at the San Antonio Spurs. Together with his team, he won NBA championships, MVP in 1995, and Olympic gold medals with the U.S. national team consecutively between 1992 and 1996. The one-time Navy officer and mathematics major didn't always set out to make basketball a career. Somehow, he crossed paths with the game of hoops and did excellently at it. David is one of the most successful athletes after retirement. In 2007, after retiring, his first private equity fund company raised $115 million. Dave is also a large-hearted philanthropist and makes donations of 10% of his earnings from his equity funds to inner-city kids, a practice he has carried out for years. For a man who switched careers before finding his true passion, David is a true story of success. Number 7. Grant Hill, $250 million. As a college student, Hill's impressive records include 400 assists, 700 rebounds, 1,900 points, 100 blocked shots, and 200 steals. Little wonder he is considered the greatest college player of his time. His professional career began with the Detroit Pistons, where he played for 6 years and earned $31.4 million. After a blazing career spanning 19 years, Hill was forced into retirement following injury complications. However, his financial fortune was unaffected by his retirement. He went on to sign a lifetime deal with the shoemaking company Fila for $10 million annually. He also became a part owner and an executive of the Atlanta Hawks in a deal worth about $850 million. Currently, Hill is a basketball analyst for Turner Sports and CBS. He spends his fortune donating to charity and creating awareness of methicillin-resistant infection, an ailment that he suffered from in 2003. While all of these achievements are commendable, the next player does even better. Number 6. Olajuwon Hakeem, $300 million. All the way from Nigeria, the mercurial center player blazed through the NBA with excellent skills and charisma between 1985 and 2004.
Hakeem Olajuwon coming in on the left side, no block out by Mason, and it's just all Olajuwon getting up in the air with room to operate.
After successfully leading the Houston Rockets to tons of victories, he later left for the Toronto Raptors. He was a part of the U.S. Olympic men's basketball team known as the Dream Team 2 and played alongside other basketball greats like Shaquille ONeal. Forced into retirement following a back injury, Hakeem found great success in the real estate sector. As a staunch Muslim, he never takes out loans to acquire properties as this violates certain tenets of his faith. However, this has worked out well for him as he doesn't get stuck trying to get a loan approved. This next player, who played alongside Hakeem, literally doubles Hakeem's net worth. Number 5. Shaquille ONeal, $600 million. A huge, imposing, and intimidating giant of a man, Shaquille was a force to reckon with both on and off the court. As a player, he earned at least $292 million in salaries and over $200 million in endorsements. Shaq did not exactly enjoy the bliss that comes from a stable home. His father was addicted to drugs and eventually left home when he was still a baby. However, this wasn't enough to stop the giant from excelling in his career. Shaq grew in popularity among many youngsters who saw in him the face of a man who could rise from the worst of life to attain success. Today, he's a very versatile man and is a TV host, rapper, entrepreneur, writer, and product endorser.
I had this state-of-the-art studio in my house, and they lived around the corner, and they said, "Hey man, can we record at your studio?" And I only charge them $25, but
Although he's retired, he still earns as much as $60 million annually from endorsements. Number 4. Ulysses Lee Jr Bridges, $600 million. Bridges' story is truly inspiring. As an NBA star, he never had the privilege of earning millions of dollars as others did. His highest salary on record was $350,000. So how does he occupy the 4th spot in the list of richest NBA stars? Born to an average family in the 50s, his career began with the LA Lakers. However, he was soon traded over to the Milwaukee Bucks. Although he had a brilliant career with the Milwaukee Bucks, Bridges discovered early enough that his paychecks would eventually stop as he couldn't play forever. He decided to invest his earnings in Wendy's food franchises, which he loved. Surprisingly, this turned out to be a life-changing decision. He started out by understudying Wendy's restaurant business models and even working there during off-seasons. Eventually, he acquired 3 outlets before retirement. Upon retirement, he went all in, buying up more franchises with his retirement bonus.
Well, I want to get involved in the restaurant business, and I've got somebody that wants to run it. I don't really want to run it, but I just hopefully successful, and you'll start sending me a check every month or something like that.
Soon, he had over 160 outlets. From his proceeds, he also began to buy Chili's restaurant outlets until he acquired about 120 outlets. He also has investments in other franchises. Today, his net worth is about $600 million, bringing him into the league of multimillionaires. Number 3. Earvin "Magic" Johnson, $630 million. Johnson had a spellbinding NBA career that was indeed magical. As a rookie, he won MVP during the season's finals. He was also the first choice during the LA Lakers NBA draft and did great things for the game of hoops. He earned the name Magic at the age of 15 when a sports writer saw his sheer brilliance on the basketball court. He also went on to win lots of championships and NBA MVP recognitions in his first decade with the NBA. The basketball world was shocked when he came forward to announce that he had contracted the dreaded HIV, thus ending his career. Although he came back in the years that followed as both a player and a coach, the results were never the same. Undaunted by his health challenge, Johnson has gone on to do absolutely well for himself and his community. He started his investment company with interests in startups and communal-based projects. Today, his company, Magic Johnson Enterprises, is worth over $1 billion, and he, together with his partners, purchased the Dodgers for a whopping $2 billion. Indeed, Johnson has done impressively, but the next on the list almost doubles him again. Number 2. LeBron James, $1 billion. King James, as he is fondly called, is loved by millions of people for his contribution to the game of basketball. Coming from an average family, his mother gifted him a ball and hoop as a toddler, as though she had looked into his future. Soon enough, James fell in love with basketball and as a teenager began to grace the covers of sports magazines like Slam. He made the first choice during the Cleveland Cavaliers NBA draft of 2003 and has not looked back or slowed down since then. In his first year of play, he won the NBA Rookie of the Year award. In the years that followed, LeBron's fame increased and he became the preferred player on the courts. His efforts won him tons of other awards, like MVPs and nominations for the most defensive player in the years that followed. Now 38 years old, his business interests outside basketball include entertainment, fast food franchises, and football, where he owns a 2% stake in Liverpool FC. He has also secured massive endorsement deals with companies like Coca-Cola, Microsoft, Samsung, Nike, and others. Although LeBron appears to have broken through to the 10-digit figure, this is not enough to crown him as the wealthiest NBA player. The next person after him absolutely takes the crown. Number 1. Michael Jordan, $2.2 billion. Undoubtedly the legend of modern basketball, Michael Jordan is the template that every new entrant into the NBA is compared to. A certified and undisputed billionaire, Jordan has tons of achievements that include 6 NBA championship titles, 5 times league MVPs, and induction into the Hall of Fame in September 2009.
Well, it all starts with my parents. You guys see all the highlights What is it about me that you guys don't know? As I sit up here and I watch all the other recipients stand up here and they give their history.
Michael is currently a businessman and product endorser with tons of brands like Nike, Coca-Cola, Gatorade, Chevrolet, and more jostling for him. While it is easy to believe that his salary during the time in the NBA earned him all of his massive wealth as well as his billionaire status, this is not completely true. So where did his sudden leap in wealth come from? Jordan achieved his billionaire status after his acquisition of the Charlotte Hornets NBA team. He later sold a minority part of his stake to an investment firm in 2019 for $1.5 billion. Jordan redefined the game of basketball and is quoted as saying the reason why he succeeds is that he had failed many times. So whose journey to wealth inspires you the most? Let us know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave us a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.